When was the last time you took a leap of faith, trusting that everything is going to work out? Do you crave growth, or are you merely content with the status quo? If you want more out of your life, out of your career, and out of your relationships, you are in the right place. Take the leap and discover how to create a life by design rather than living it by default. Real success starts with you. Now here's your host, Colleen Biggs.
Hello, listeners, and welcome back to another episode of Take the Leap. I am your host, Colleen Biggs. And as you know, week after week, we have new individuals that come onto our show that are experts in their field. And I want to ask you a question. What do you think it would feel like for you to have a limitless potential? What would that feel like in your life? What would that feel like in your career? Well, it is possible. And Cassandra Rosa is here with us today. And we're going to be diving into limitless potential, what that means for you, and how you can apply that to your everyday life. There's cool little tricks that we're going to be providing on today's show. So please make sure you stay with us till the very end, because we're going to be telling you how you can get in contact with Cassandra. But at first, I'd like to thank our sponsor of today's show, Beyond Basil Mobile Pizzeria. We're passionate about bringing the authentic flavors of Italy right to your event. Our mobile pizzeria is a culinary adventure on wheels where we craft artisanal pizzas using the finest ingredients and traditional Neapolitan techniques. Whether you're craving a classic margarita or booking to explore one of our unique flavor combinations, our skilled pizziolas are here to create mouthwatering pizzas that will tantalize your taste buds. With our commitment to quality and exceptional service, we aim to provide an unforgettable dining experience for every one of your guests. Explore our menu, book your next event or wedding, and follow us on Instagram at Beyond Basil Pizza. Get ready to embark on a pizza journey like no other. Visit us at Beyond Basil mobilepizzeria.com. And if you're not hungry yet, I'm hungry for pizza after reading that, Cassandra. So thank you, Beyond Basil Mobile Pizzeria, for that sponsorship today. Cassandra Rosa is a certified coach and healer and intuitive business coach. Her mission is to help spiritual entrepreneurs go deep within on their journey to creating an impactful and fulfilling life and business. She loves to help her clients transform holistically on all levels, the mental, physical, and spiritual, as that is what helps them create long-lasting results. She is an award-winning author of the book, Now What? Create the Clarity to Achieve Your Dreams, designed to help people navigate life's now what moments. She's also the co-host of the Limitless Human podcast, created to help people achieve their limitless potential while honoring the human experience. Cassandra, welcome to today's show.
Thank you so much for having me. And like you, I'm thinking, maybe I should have pizza for dinner tonight.
Me too. And I will tell you that my eyesight, I had my eyes checked not too long ago, and I have glasses sitting here on my desk, and I'm starting to get to the point where I can't even read the big fonts on my papers or the computer anymore. And so a couple of the words look like a certain word, but it was really another word. So anyone else struggling out there with eyesight, let me know, and you can email us at info@colleenbiggs.net, because it's happening to me too. I'm not the only one, I'm sure. So you left your 9 to 5 and become an entrepreneur back in 2019. That was about the same timing for me. I had started a business in 2018, gave my notice in 2019. What did that feel to you to take that big leap? What happened leading up to those events that you were ready?
It's quite a story, so I'm excited to share it. So I was working for Nespresso. I was working like 6 days a week. I was in a work environment in which it was lots of fun, but there was a coworker and it wasn't going so well. And I remember just being in an intuition course and meditating on a date, which should be the day that I leave this job and finally take the leap. And it was interesting. I thought it was going to be the end of 2019, but I got this message loud and clear, November 15th. So I'm like, this is too early. I would rather leave the end of the year, but I'm going to just live my life and see how it unfolds. And it was interesting. I came into work one day and the manager above me was there early. And I said, "What is he doing here?" And he's like, "Yeah, I'm actually going to be leaving the company." And I got this like intuitive nudge in my pit of my stomach being like, "Today's the day you got to leave the notice." It was just this unspoken thing. So I came home, I wrote my letter of resignation, and I hit send, and only to realize the day was November 15th that I resigned. It was interesting how, my intuition knew exactly what was going to happen. So in the process of doing that, it was interesting because it's something I desired for so long. I was working so hard in the job and working on my business and taking courses at the same time. And the light at the end of the tunnel was always there. But it's interesting how your mind kind of tries to talk you out of it and keep you in your comfort zone leading up to. So it was an interesting excitement energy, as
Mm-hmm.
well as all the fears of like, am I really going to take the leap right now?
Yeah. So, you're coming to us out of Canada, and we're based in the United States. So, is it any different for you for the feeling of leaving corporate and moving to being a small business owner? Is there a difference with the government there, or anything that would make you feel uneasy about moving? I know you. I was going to say in Canada, and you'll probably have to help me with this, there are some additional benefits that you guys receive that we pay for here in the United States. I know there are a lot of people that'll say, well, if my kids are young, I don't want to leave my job because I want to keep all my benefits and my health coverage and everything at my job and not leave. But I don't think you have to worry about that in Canada, right?
Mhm.
Because you guys are covered for
Yeah.
healthcare anyway. That's a
Yeah.
nice thing. That's a big, thing here in the States that a lot of people in Canada don't realize. So you got the intuitive nudge, you left. What did you when you were leaving and giving your notice, had you given thought to what you would do
Yeah.
when
Yeah.
you left? Were you planning on starting your own business, or were you thinking maybe I could go get another job? What was your thought?
No, I had replaced my income at that point, and I don't
Okay.
even think I realized how well I was covered. So I've been working on my business behind the scenes while I was working 6 days a week, while I was doing all these different courses at the same time. So I knew that I wanted to become a life coach. I knew that I wanted to pick up my laptop and travel and do coaching. So I think it was like days after I quit my job, I went right onto the plane and was coaching full time. So yeah, I think I set myself up better than I even realized, right? And I think when
Yeah.
you're having your tunnel vision and focusing on the big picture,
Yeah.
and you're also dealing with the fears of, whoa, am I actually taking this step? I think that um, that was kind of my focus more than realizing how well I set myself up and how all the hard work, you know, worked
Yeah.
out.
Yeah, it is hard work. I mean, we don't want to lie about that. It's certainly hard work to build businesses. My husband and I own a few here in Arizona, and we've purchased some, we've built some, and we've sold some. So it's hard work, and it's something you can't do alone. You definitely need someone with you. So the clients that are coming to you, why are they coming to you? What is it that's keeping them up at night?
Yeah, I think a lot of my clients are spiritual entrepreneurs or aspiring ones that have been developing their wealth of knowledge by taking all the courses, all the certifications, and wanting really to have some support of what are the steps to bring it into fruition in a very simple and authentic way that's applicable to them. So it's a lot of people that are in the infancy stages of their business and they're trying to clarify, okay, this is exactly what my mission is and what is the best vehicle that I can impact people with. So
Mhm.
refining what their offerings will be and what is the messaging that they're meant to be sharing as leaders and impactpreneurs at that moment in time.
So you're working with a lot of online service providers in
Mhm.
that space. Okay, good to know that.
Mhm.
Talk to us a little bit about limitless potential. Having that faith and working on your mental, physical, and spiritual. Explain those three pieces and how that plays into the limitless potential.
Yeah, I feel like we can keep ourselves in a box. And I think society has set us up
Mm,
to think that way, that, we're meant to have a 9 to 5 for the rest of our lives and work hard and, have the house and get married and have the kids, and then you can enjoy life, right? And that's kind of the box that we're put in. But I feel like we're meant for so much more. I think it's very special that we're here in this moment in time, living this experience, because the world needs us to stand up and share our gifts
yeah.
and really share them with the world, because there's lots of people that are seeking help and support, whether they realize it or not. So there's so much available for us. We all have the potential to do something great, and we all have a big purpose to fulfill. And the limits can be exceeded. It's interesting thinking we're all humans with our own unique experiences, and some people go for it 100% and achieve everything that they want. And some of us just get stuck with the ideas in our notebook, right?
Mm,
So it's really getting into the energy, that daydreaming, curious, childlike wonder state, and realizing what could be possible for myself and
yeah.
what is the life that I want to create. And then it's aligning with it in, mind and body and spirit, right? So it's physically taking the actions towards what it is that you're starting to paint out and all the ideas you're writing in your notebook. It's aligning with it in the energetic way of creating alignment within, of creating the stillness to allow your intuition to be your guide in that process. And then it's all the mindset work so that you can be in the thoughts of limitlessness and the
Yeah.
thoughts of the possibilities that await you. So I think I've realized you can't have one without the other. You can't be taking the one step forward, 2 steps back whenever your mind shows up. You can't be hitting the snooze button every single morning because your energy feels out of whack. And it's great to have all the dreams, but you have to take the actions accordingly. So that's why with all my clients, I love to approach it from a holistic point of view.
I love that. That's beautiful because we aren't limited. So I'm assuming the clients that you're working with and people that come to you, they just don't know how to listen maybe to their intuition or how to get that clarity. And it was interesting that you said in the moment when they came in and said that they're leaving, that your boss was there and they were leaving the company, that right then you got the feeling that I need to resign and put my notice in. Most people get those feelings immediately on something, some level, right? But they ignore it. Why? They
Mhm.
ignore it because they're scared. And so the minute that you get that hit, they're like, but in 5 seconds, but all these bad things can happen. And we kind of make up all these bad things. It's interesting how our minds would go to the negative first versus going to, oh my gosh, this is going to be so great. Think of all the great things I can do. We immediately go to a fear base because our mind is to protect us.
Mhm.
And so
Mhm.
that's where we go. So this is really a practice that someone has to do over and over again to be able to um, listen to their intuition, be guided by that. You talk a little bit about the physical. So, what does the physical piece have to do with limitless potential?
Taking the actual action,
Yeah.
right? Because I can't tell you how many people, when they come to me, they have all these journals filled with ideas, but they're collecting dust there. So
Hmm.
it's really important to be able to take the physical action accordingly, taking the baby steps one after the other. Because, like you said, our body wants to keep us safe, our mind wants to keep us safe. That's why, whenever you're taking a leap outside of your norm, that's
Yeah.
why the fears come in. So it's interesting. I trained myself to see that as a compliment because my heart and soul knows that I'm about to do something great. So my mind and my body is trying to keep me safe because I've never taken that path before. So
Hmm.
it's kind of changing your relationships with fear. And when you're taking the leaps, taking those small leaps every day to kind of train your mind and your body that it's okay to take steps. So whether you're going to a restaurant and you're trying something new that you haven't tried before, or you're going to work and you're taking a different route there, I think it's the more that you train your mind that it's safe to take leaps, the more
Hmm.
when the big leaps come, you're not so caught up in not feeling so daunting when doing them.
You know, I'm glad that you said that because we named this podcast Take the Leap for that purpose. Take the Leap is really about when we take the leap, sometimes we have to take these big movements, these big steps in our life. Because if not, we just stay complacent and then we want something to happen in our lives. But if we don't allow the opportunity for that to come into our life, either open it up, prepare ourselves for that, or go for something to make a change, then we're just sitting idle, waiting for everything in our lives to happen, which
Mm.
this podcast is about designing your life for it to look the way you want it to be. That does not mean controlling everything. I want to be very clear on that. We're not stating in order for you to have limitless potential, you have to control everything. We're saying their outer world is very reflective of your inner world.
Right.
So if you allow opportunity, if you're creating opportunity, if you say, if this happened, this is the way I want to go, this is the path I want to lead, I'm desiring to be an entrepreneur, then you need to take the steps. You can never aspire to be an entrepreneur and never put your leave in and say, I'm resigning. That's a core piece of what you have to do to get to that. So just thinking of your clients, what are some major breakthroughs they've had with what they've come to you with something that was just weighing them down and they couldn't see beyond that? Because I'm sure your clients not the only one, and there's several people listening today that feel the same way, for sure.
Yeah. I had a client that was really passionate about mental health, and she wanted to create a book from the time I knew her.
Yeah.
And she was like, I don't know the how. I think the how is what stops people, not knowing what steps to take, because society has set us up to step one, step two, step three, having the red carpet rolled out for
Yeah.
us in terms of what's predictable for the next step. So once we started to uncover the mission of it, she started to clarify the pieces, and then she started to tap into, okay, this is simpler than I thought in the way that my mind thought it would be. She started taking the steps and she came out with her book, and she didn't think it was possible for her. She thought it was always going to be a idea that was going to be in her
Yeah.
journal. So it's something really special to see people start to have those light bulb moments, and
Yeah.
then starting to play in that energy of possibility and see, oh, this is possible for me. This is something that I can do to help people and change the world. And when they bring it into fruition, there's like nothing like that.
What is one step that you recommend that people do that they can start today?
hmm hmm So I have something that I call the circle and start method in my business. So think of something that you truly desire, a project that you want to bring forth, a habit that you want to create, and play in the energy of possibility where I don't know exists, and hypothesize what are the little baby steps that you can take to bring this into fruition. In no particular order, just write them all down. And then circle the first one that you're going to commit to in the next 24 hours and number off 3 more. So this is something that is a roadmap that you are creating for yourself. And every time you complete something, you cross it off, and then you have your next step right there. So that's been something that's been
That's
really
great.
helpful for my clients, to just make them small, because when you're taking leaps, it's one small step after the other, after the other, after the other. And that's what helps you achieve your limitlessness, is just that momentum that comes from one step
Yeah.
after the other.
It's showing up and getting started for sure. And it's something that you hear a lot in physical fitness. Showing up is the hardest part of the battle, and just, putting the clothes on and actually showing up for class or doing the workout or working with a personal trainer or putting your shoes on and going for a walk. It's just kind of that first piece. So I'm glad that you gave us some direction today on what the listeners can do, and where, if Cassandra, anyone wanted to connect with you, is there a specific what, I can't speak today, what's happening? Is there a specific social platform that you show up on most that you think would be great for them to connect with you on? Would you like them to DM you somewhere? What would be the best way for them to do that?
Yeah, on Instagram, my handle is Cassandra Rosa A, or you can check out my website, and there's So many beautiful free resources there, the Limitless Human podcast, and ways to work with me.
Yeah, and you talked about your book, Now What? Create the Clarity to Achieve Your Dreams.
Mhm.
And that's also available as well. Can we get that? I have the link for the book below for anyone to click on. Is that also, will we see that on Instagram? Will we see that on your website as well?
Yeah, on my website
Okay,
for
great.
sure.
Okay, great. And your website is CassandraRosa.com?
That's right.
Okay, wonderful. Well, thank you, Cassandra, so much for being with us today. It was such a great conversation to have with you. And I just want to remind our listeners, and this is so true to what you said, Cassandra, in leaving corporate America, because you and I have both experienced the same thing. When you take the leap, you land on your feet. You always do. And I always say, when you're listing out all the possible things that could go wrong, if death isn't on the list, go for it, because we can honestly recover from everything else, and you might think, oh, well, what if I don't make enough money? It's like, and then you don't make enough money. What happens then? What's the worst thing that could happen? I mean, I went all the way through to like, would I have to sell my house? Would I have to do XYZ? All of these things I was willing and prepared to do if I wasn't able to make it for what I needed, and wanted in my life financially. That's just what we make up in our head, because honestly, you're going to do so much better than that. And you're just nervous right now to get started, but you're the only you that's ever been. You're the only you that's ever going to be. Do you really want to live this entire life that you have on this earth, holding yourself back and not realizing your full potential? I'm actually speaking on a subject at the Small Business Expo today, here locally in Phoenix, about the 6 habits it takes to be a high performance business owner. And one of those is motivation. And we have to stay motivated. So you either need to find tools to motivate you, people to motivate you, daily actions that motivate you, because then you're responsible for not only your own motivation, but then if you're building a team and employees like we have in some of our businesses, you're responsible for motivating them and enrolling them into the vision as well. And that's a big responsibility. And so I loved what we talked about today. Every single one of us had limitless potential, but we have to believe it's possible. And it really comes and starts from within. And Cassandra gave you a first step on what you want to do today to get started. And you can reach Cassandra on Instagram at Cassandra Rosa A, on her website at CassandraRosa.com, as well as we have her link for her book below. So please go check that out. I think books are great because it's a way for you to just start the study to see if it's something that is going to work for you. And then once they read your book, then they'll know if you're the right person for them to reach out to. And it's great that you wrote a book. So thank you for doing that, Cassandra. And again, don't forget to go listen to the Limitless Human podcast that Cassandra has as well, that's been created for you to learn and to create that limitless potential for yourself. So Cassandra, thank you for being with us today. And to all of you again, thank you so much. And until next time, don't forget, be you and be strong. Bye-bye for now.
Bye.
Thank you for joining us on this journey of self-discovery, where you learned the tools to create a life by design. Remember, you are the only you there is, and you are the only you that will ever be. Be you and be strong, because you are brilliant, and the world needs you at your best. We cannot wait for you to join us again next time.